The list of starting quarterbacks for the Washington Redskins has been long and painful. Over the last 2 seasons alone, they've had to start guys like Josh Johnson, Colt McCoy, Mark Sanchez, and Case Keenum, all since Alex Smith's injury. Needless to say, it's been pretty bad over the past 2 years. Most recently, the Washington Redskins invested a first-round pick in Dwayne Haskins out of Ohio State. Now, if you were to turn on his first 3 games, stop there and made your analysis, you'd probably come away thinking the guy wasn't going to make it. You would have seen a guy that consistently missed open receivers, a guy that couldn't operate within confines of his offense, and generally a guy that did more damage than good. It was pretty bad if I'm going to be honest with you. However, while this may be the case, and while I'll show you in detail just how bad that struggle was, Haskins drastically improved during his rookie season. He went from a guy that I was legitimately terrified for to a guy that actually made me very excited. Let's start with the concerning bit, as I'll explain how that fits into what I saw from throughout the season. To begin with, the biggest issue I saw from Haskins throughout his rookie season was his accuracy. After analyzing all of his throws from the season, Haskins struggled with placement on all 3 levels of the field. He'd miss high, he'd miss in front, and he'd also miss low as well. On back-to-back plays, Haskins would throw a pass dead on the numbers, and then on a second almost identical throw, Haskins would put the ball wide and too far in front of his target. For my tracking, a big issue and the root cause for this inaccuracy was his footwork. How he delivered the ball was the main cause for this issue. Now, from his college film, something that I pointed out was that he didn't shift his weight to make his passes. He'd have a stiff front leg, then he'd use mostly his arm to generate his power. This is still the case here. Now, the issue and why this motion isn't working as well now in the NFL is that he's being moved off his spot way more frequently. Instead of having an Ohio State offensive line that dominated every Big Ten school, the pocket with the Redskins would shift and move, and he'd have to reset his feet for his throws. Having to reset his feet and having to deal with a lot more pressure now has made his throws less consistent. This is especially true whenever Haskins had to open his hips to the left. The Redskins were down 14 points in the second quarter. Keenum was just benched, and Haskins brought his offense down the field to the 3-yard line in his first drive. After missing a throw to his tight end and a failed Adrian Peterson run, Haskins was faced with a 3rd and 3. Dropping out a shotgun, Haskins took 3 steps and then he opened his hips wide and to his left to make room for his throw. Using this motion, Haskins' momentum was forced outside instead of directly at his target. This left the pass uncontrollable in his hand, which is why he missed his throw. His footwork was the main cause on this play. Instead of having his hips and shoulders already pointing at his target before he threw it, Haskins had to control his momentum at the top of his drop. This is why he struggled connecting on these type of passes as a rookie. Now, just to be clear, not every single pass to the left was missed, just like this one, because he's gotten used to this motion. While he's done decently well with this motion, especially in college, creating a stable base for every throw is going to be especially important for his development going forward. That's what he needs to do to be more consistent. Outside of inaccuracy, another thing I noticed with Haskins was that he has a bad habit of holding onto the football for far too long. He'll take sacks when he doesn't need to. This especially came up on 3rd downs. Haskins would have an open receiver underneath for a designed throw, and he simply wouldn't pull the trigger. Based on my tracking, a good percentage of his sacks came directly due to this issue. On one of his more egregious mistakes, Haskins had McLaurin open on a dig route that could have been a big gain on 1st down. After reading the play from left to right, Haskins could have found the 3rd receiver coming open from the backside. He had plenty of space to make his throw, but for some reason, however, Haskins decided not to pass it and he took a sack instead. Here's another example that happened back in week 4. On this 3rd and 10 in the 4th quarter, the Redskins were already down 24-3. When you're down 21 points in the 4th, you have to take shots. You have to be willing to take risks in order to move your team down the field. Not only did Haskins not do that, but he missed multiple open players and then took a terrible sack. After motioning tight end across the formation, it's pretty clear the defense was playing zone coverage as nobody was trailing the tight end. With one safety deep, the Giants were playing cover 3 based on the alignment of their safety. The Redskins called a dagger concept featuring a seam route from the slot and a dig route from the outside receiver. Additionally, the tight end chip released and was a check down for the quarterback. Now remember the down and distance of this play. It's 3rd and 10, and at this down and distance, Haskins has to understand that the Giants will play more conservatively. They'll likely drop to the sticks in order to prevent against a 10-yard throw. That's exactly what they did here. The dig is perfectly covered, which is where Haskins wanted to go with the ball. Now with the linebackers dropping this deep, this meant that the slot receiver had a one-on-one with the safety. If Haskins wanted to take a shot, he definitely could have in order to stretch this defense. The ball should have been out now as I pause your screen, but Haskins never saw a receiver on this play. He was caught staring down the dig on the left. Now, the other thing you could say is that since the linebackers were dropping deeper than usual, there's a chance that Vernon Davis could have picked up the 1st down underneath. While this is less likely, hitting Davis as he turned to look for the ball could have given the Redskins a 4th and short at the very least. Now, what's interesting is that if you look at the backside of the play at the outside receiver running a curl route, there's actually a window for a pass up the sideline. The outside corner was giving him a lot of room to run his route. With how strong of an arm Haskins has, I think he can make this throw. Regardless, if he throws the check down or looks deep, The one and only thing that Haskins absolutely can't do on this play is take a sack. A sack completely kills his stride. That's unfortunately what happened here. One thing to note before we move on from this play was that from start to finish, this lasted over 7 seconds. Haskins had a clean pocket for roughly 6 of those, and he had plenty of time to go through all of his reads. That's an incredible amount of time on third down, and honestly, that's what kills me the most about this play. Multiple missed opportunities combined with indecision is really what killed the Redskins here. Now, I do get that some of these plays that I broke down in detail happened in his very first game of the season. Looking back at him in college, inexperience was a major risk factor when it came to Haskins as a prospect. He had a grand total of 14 starts since he finished his high school career. Clearly, this is a contributing factor with the Redskins. Haskins wasn't ready to play in week 4, and by all reports, it didn't seem like Jay Gruden really gave him a chance either. While this may be the case, Haskins still has to do a better job of fully reading the field. Being an NFL quarterback is all about preparation and then using your natural talent to make up for plays when you have to adapt. That's what made guys like Drew Brees and Tom Brady special. They have shown the ability to adapt and have perfected the minute details of playing this position. For that reason, we obviously can't ignore the missed opportunities that happened early in the season. Open touchdowns, deep passes, and plays where Haskins just simply missed a wide receiver sitting for a touchdown were far too common. He left a ton of yards and points on the field, especially early on in the season. While we obviously can't ignore these mistakes as some of them carried over later in the year, this season definitely got better as the year went on. By his 4th game of the season, which was week 11 against the Jets, I finally saw him make plays that truly made me happy. Going from missed reads and inaccurate throws to see Haskins legitimately get better and improve in every facet of this game was amazing to see. For example, on a 3rd and 7, Haskins stepped up using good footwork and made a good throw to his receiver. Now yes, the receiver was open, but the key point that I want you to get from this play is how Haskins sensed the pressure in the first place. He sensed it from the edge and then kept the play all alive while keeping his fundamentals in mind. This is a really good thing to see. After going through his film, it seemed like his confidence was coming back from game to game. He was much more willing to take shots, and he started to play like the quarterback that I liked out of Ohio State. Arguably his best throw this season, which was brought back due to a holding penalty, happened in the 2nd quarter. Haskins immediately sensed pressure coming from the edge, he stepped forward while keeping his eyes down the field, and he launched a beautiful pass to Terry McLaurin. This was a 67-yard throw that was taken back due to a holding penalty on the right guard. Regardless, and even though this play didn't really count, it's the process and the upside that we can clearly see here, which is exactly what I liked about him originally in this draft. Another thing that really impressed me going through his film was that he actually did a really good job creating off script in this offense. When a play was breaking down, Haskins actually did a much better job than I expected at moving around the pocket to keep the play alive. While he has a ton of work to do at mastering the base level quick passing game and even progressing through his reads, Haskins made some really awesome plays while the pocket was collapsing around him. This was not something he did a ton of in college. It's great to see that he has this ability and that he can use it against NFL defenses as well. Here's an example against the Eagles in week 15. On 1st and 10, after sensing the penetration of the defensive line, Haskins sprinted forward looking like he was going to take off. Instead of scrambling and potentially taking a hit, he stayed at the line of scrimmage while keeping his eyes down the field. Haskins saw McLaurin sprinting back towards him down the sideline. He threw the ball where it needed to be, and McLaurin secured the catch while going out of bounds. The thing I keep going back to when it comes to Haskins is that if you go through his plays chronologically just like I did for this video, his level of play drastically improved over the course of the season. It was the little things that he started doing right that were encouraging, then he also made some big plays that got you very excited as well. Against the Packers, down by 11 with only a minute remaining, Haskins lined up on the 13-yard line. He had to take a shot in 2nd down based on the time remaining on the clock. While this is a very risky throw, it's almost necessary at this point in the game. After the snap, Haskins located the safety sitting in the end zone. He knew that based on his position that he had a very small window to make this throw. As soon as McLaurin broke to free himself inside of his defender, he fired the ball perfectly over the safety's head to give his receiver a chance. McLaurin reached backwards and somehow was able to bring in the ball one-handed. This was an amazing throw by Haskins, it was an awesome catch by Terry McLaurin, and honestly, the defense didn't exactly do anything wrong either. A perfect pass just beats perfect coverage every single time. Now, as we've already discussed, Haskins was far from perfect as a rookie. He still made plenty of mistakes like the ones I pointed out earlier in this video that he needs to spend time cleaning up. That's just a fact about being a quarterback in the NFL. It's a league built on perfection, and after seeing guys like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson take that next step in their 2nd season, we really hope Haskins will do the same. What's encouraging was that before, when Haskins would need a wide open target to make his throw, he became much more aggressive and was much more willing to take shots. When before Haskins didn't know what to do with pressure in his face, he improved at that over time and started creating off-script plays. And when before Haskins would miss literally every single receiver due to poor accuracy, he started becoming more consistent with his footwork and simply doing the little things right. That's what is encouraging about this season. While this may be the case, just like what I said in my Daniel Jones video and what I'll say in literally every single rookie video I'll do on this channel, it's obviously still way too early to make any final say on him as a player. The only thing we can do as analysts, and the only thing we can do as fans of our favorite teams, is hope they improve the little things that will take them to that next level. We just have to hope that Haskins will keep getting better at the major issues I laid on this video. If he does this, Haskins will have a legit shot at becoming the franchise quarterback for a team that's desperately needed one for a very long time.
Tell me about the progressions you've made, what you've learned about playing quarterback, the improvements you've made.
I learned about coverages, my mechanics were a lot better from last year.
Specifically, tell me what were better about your mechanics.
Before, I used to throw sidearm because I watched Vince Young a lot, so I was getting into that habit, and then I changed that, and then I was getting stronger, lifting weights, sit-ups, push-ups, and doing a lot of things to get my body in shape.
Well, that's all I have for you in this one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and also you can support me through my Patreon account in the link below. I'll have a new video for you every single week, and next up, I think we'll continue with the theme of this video, discussing how even elite players like Patrick Mahomes can still improve. Until then, take care, and you can follow me on Twitter at Samuel R. Gold.